Hi, welcome to another riveting edition of Hit Me in the Head with a Hymn Book, where we are basically looking at hymns. But what we're doing is we're taking a look at the story behind the hymns. And these are hymns that probably you're familiar with if you hung around church life at all. But to be honest with you, I know a lot of you don't even know what a hymn book is. Well, that was the book with all the songs in it they would sing in church. This is a classic hymn. It is one that has a lot of Thanksgiving meaning as well. The hymn, Great is Thy Faithfulness. The year is 1923. The author of the hymn is named Thomas Obadiah Chisholm. And he was born, believe it or not, in a log cabin in Kentucky. Not made of syrup, but made of real logs. Not Lincoln logs, these would be Kentucky. This was a log cabin in Kentucky. At the age of 16, he began teaching school, despite the fact that he was still in school himself. He came to Christ at age 27 under the ministry of evangelist H.C. Morrison. But Chisholm's health was not stable, and he spent a lot of time between bouts of illness and gainful employment, in which he did everything from journalism to selling insurance to evangelistic work. His life, characterized by his own admission, there's nothing but ups and downs. And yet, somewhere in the midst of that, he shared that he discovered in the ups and the downs that he found blessings from God every morning. He would quote the 3rd chapter of Lamentations, where he says, "His compassions fail not, they are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness." See the connection there? That became the inspiration for this hymn. Thomas later admitted that there was no dramatic story behind the writing of this song, although we would like to think there was. He was serving Jesus in Vineland, New Jersey. He sent several poems to his friend and a musician by the name of William Runyon, who was so moved by this poem that he actually prayed and asked for God to give him some music that he could set this poem to. When it was all said and done, it was published in 1923 in Runyon's private song pamphlets that they would distribute in churches. It went rather slowly for several years, Thomas recalled. Then Dr. Will Houghton of the Moody Bible Institute of Chicago discovered it and would say in chapel, "I think it is the greatest song we could sing. Great is thy faithfulness." It became the unofficial theme song of the Institute. And when Houghton died, they used it at his funeral. But the real prominence for this song came about by George Beverly Shea and the choirs at the Billy Graham Crusades. See, this was also a favorite of Billy Graham's. And George Beverly Shea, of course, did it and performed it like no one else. And of course, they would have the choirs perform it. And it was heard and seen worldwide in the Graham Crusades. Thomas spent his retirement years in a Methodist home for the aged in Ocean Park, New Jersey. And he was frequently seen walking by the ocean and along the town streets. Tom Rich, who was a resident of Ocean Park, recalls his pleasant demeanor and how he would drop by his diner. He would eat dinner. He would sit on park benches. He would meet friends and just had a good life. Nothing spectacular, yet so spectacular, because he was a man through every season, whether there were ups and downs. He discovered that God is great, and great is God's faithfulness. And so, no dramatic story, no life-changing events, other than simply a realization that when you give your life to Jesus, you discover a God who is faithful, and that's worth celebrating. And so, next time you sing, "Great is Thy Faithfulness," think of Thomas Obadiah Chisholm, and a man who just had life that was all over the planet, but yet in the midst of his ups and downs, discovered God faithful. Look forward to joining you next time here on Hit Me in the Head with Hymn Book.